Okay. I don't know what to call this podcast.
I don't either.
We don't know what to call this podcast, so we're not going to call it anything for now. My name is Tim Salmons, and I've been writing columns and reviews and everything for the Digital Bits for the past 4 or 5 years or something like that. And this is
Teresa Eaton.
And we just thought it would be fun to start up a podcast. And we have no idea if it's going to work out or what it's going to entail, but we thought we'd give it a try. Teresa is not as keen on this as I am, and right now I'm a little nervous because I'm not used to doing things like this.
Nor am I.
Forgive the background noise, by the way. We'll try to be ourselves as much as possible. I thought it would be fun to talk about Batman, and I don't know why. I just picked a subject, really. Really, this podcast is going to be about talking about movies and music and comic books and or really anything that we deem interesting or have an interest in talking about.
Various forms of entertainment.
Various. Because we like a lot of different things. We like a lot of different movies. We TV shows as well. We like a lot of different TV shows. And it seemed like Batman was a good place to start. I've been very Batman-oriented lately, so I've been reacquainting myself with various comics. I'll give you a little history of my history with Batman. When I was a kid, there were two main superheroes, which were Batman and Spider-Man. Over the years, Spider-Man has kind of waned as far as my interest goes. Batman still seems to stick around, and I'm not quite sure why. Recently, we started playing the Batman games, the Arkham games, and I liked them so much that I wanted to read some comic books that I hadn't read before. And for the record, I'm not a huge comic book nerd. I had read Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen and a handful of other comics here and there growing up, and that's about it. So I felt like I wanted to check out some other stuff, and I checked out Hush and I had read Year One before as well, and I reread that. Reread Long Halloween. I had read that before as well. Gosh, I've read a lot more than I thought. And it's weird because when I was a kid, there wasn't like a big Spider-Man presence. Other than cartoons.
Yeah.
There was the awful like 70s TV show.
Yes.
Which is just laughable now, and it's great to watch just for
for
how awful.
fun,
Just for how awful it is. And some people argue that about Batman, but when I was a kid, the Batman TV show wasn't a comedy.
No.
At all. It was just Batman, you know.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful when you grow up and you watch it as an adult. And I didn't watch the show so much when I was a kid. I watched the movie more because Dad had recorded a copy of the movie. And
How old were you when it came out?
Oh, when the movie came
Yeah.
out? I wasn't even born yet.
Oh wait, I'm thinking about the
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Adam West Batman.
Right.
That was much later.
Yeah,
I'll get into that. But Dad had recorded the 66 Batman movie that they did. And I watched that over and over again. I loved it. And for some reason, I didn't catch the TV show a whole lot on TV. It just was, it was never on TV, and when it seemed to be on at odd hours when I wasn't watching TV. For whatever reason, I didn't watch it much. And I'm remedying that now, later years. And so Batman was pretty much a lot dominant, and I was into Spider-Man too, but now it's not so much anymore. I think Batman has more compelling villains and more compelling story ideas than just, I've got relationship problems, you know.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying that can't be compelling, but just for me personally, I prefer.
Spider-Man doesn't seem to have the depth that Batman can have.
Well, I don't know about depth, but he certainly doesn't. I don't know. He certainly had a completely different feel, in my opinion. But anyways, and please don't attack us for these comments, because I know there are some hardcore comic book nerds out there who would just totally disagree with everything we're saying. But these are just our opinions, okay? Anyways, of course, the '89 movie came along, Batman, and of course, I, like just about everybody else, loved it. I'm sure you did too. Where were you at when that came along?
We happened to be here for the summer, but I didn't see it till we got back to Germany. So I was in Aschaffenburg, Germany.
Okay, and for the record, Teresa's father was in the military, so they traveled.
A civilian employee for the Department of Defense.
Yes. Then they
I
traveled.
grew up in Germany and Korea.
Yeah, so she was a military brat of sorts.
Of sorts.
Of sorts, not quite the military brat, but
No.
But anyways, I loved the movie when it came out. I was a big fan, and I remember being at Rite Aid when the movie first hit video, and they had a little TV on a shelf, and copies of the movie on the shelf underneath, showing the movie on TV, and I just parked my ass in front of that TV and just watched, and I think Mom bought it that day just because of that.
I remember all the hype and everything out when it first, that summer. And somewhere I have a little pair of Batman symbol earrings that I have put away.
Cool. I don't think I had earrings, but...
Well, no. Most likely not, because I was older than you were, so...
Yeah. So, it's interesting because Tim Burton movie is kind of looked down on today as sort of campy, like the Batman TV series was, and it's nowhere near that.
No, it's still scary.
It's a little rough around the edges, mainly because a lot of the effects are very dated.
Yeah.
And a lot of the story things that they put in, like the Joker being the killer of Batman's parents, is a big no-no for coming, and also letting Vicky Vale into the Batcave.
Yeah, that was a little bit much.
It's like Alfred would never do that, and if he did, that would be his final day of employment for Bruce Wayne. But it's fun revisiting it all these years later. Like a lot of things, when you're a kid, you see something a certain way, and then when you're an adult, you see it a certain way, and you often have to struggle with him. Do I really love this because I love this as a person, as an adult, or am I just purely nostalgic about this? And I think it's a bit of both for me with the Batman movie. What do you think?
I don't really know. I mean, as a child, I was actually more into Spider-Man. My mom had told me a story. They took me to Toys R Us. I was too young to remember this, but there were characters in costume. And I think I would have gone home with this Spider-Man guy. It was funny. I liked Batman, but I don't know. It didn't grab me like it did you. But you're a boy and younger than I was when I saw it. So.
Well, I was so into Spider-Man at the time. I've got a scar on my left hand from where I punched in a window on accident. I was like 5 years old. And I accidentally punched in a window. It wasn't like a really tough window. It was like a window in a screen door.
Oh, okay.
Like one of those kinds of windows. Shatters very easily,
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. It's a screen door. It's going to be slammed.
Slammed a lot, yeah, you would think.
You wouldn't want a window in that door that would break so easily. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, and of course, they took me to the hospital and they just said, "Oh, you don't need stitches." And I didn't need stitches, and I've still got a big scar on my hand today for that.
Scarred you for life.
Scarred me for life, Spider-Man. But anyways, what I was saying was it's interesting to go back and revisit it, and I was actually interested in reading the Batman novelization because I had never read it. For those that don't know, that they did a Batman novelization when the movie came out. And now with retrospect, we've learned that the movie went through a lot of rewrites and a lot of last-minute changes to the shooting script. So it stands to reason that the novelization would probably be somewhat different than the final product. And I read that novelization, bought a copy off of Amazon, and really, it's not that much different, but it is. There are certain What?
Nothing. It's not that different, but it is.
Well, I mean, it's not like drastically different. It's pretty much the same movie, except there are some changes. And some of those changes, some of them I can't really see them actually doing the things that they did. Are actually doing these things, but
it worked better in print than it would have
maybe
on the screen.
Maybe I don't know, because you have to think about certain scenes in the movie that might have read the same way on the page.
Yeah.
I can't think of a specific example, but like you read it and you're like, that I don't know if that'll work or not. You read.
Well, you mentioned something about horseback riding.
Yeah. Famously, Sean Young was originally cast as Vicky Vale in that movie. And they never talked about why they were going horseback riding. For some reason, they were horseback riding. And she fell off the horse and got hurt and couldn't do the movie anymore. And she wasn't like debilitated or anything like that. She was just hurt, and they were going to start shooting like right away.
Oh, okay.
So they had to cast Kim Basinger at the last minute. Apparently, she was dating the producer or something at the time, and it's pretty much how she got the role. She was sleeping with the producer.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, she's a fun actress. Anyways, yeah, there was an entire scene that was completely lifted. It was changed. It was lifted and it was changed from the final script, in which Bruce Wayne and Vicky Vale's first date at the Wayne Mansion is not a boring scene of them eating soup at a long table. They were horseback riding and having lunch or something equivalent on a veranda. And it's very bizarre that they decided to change that, because it's such a romantic idea. Like, in my mind, if you're going to shoot something with some romantic flair to it, I don't think eating soup at a table.
At a 20-foot table?
At a 20-foot table that,
So you're essentially eating alone? No, that's not
yeah.
ideal of romance.
Yeah, right. And it's like, why is she so into this dude all of a sudden? Because if you watch the movie with the knowledge that scene was changed, if you look at the scene that follows it with her being drunk on the stairs and they kind of kiss and then they go upstairs and have sex, that scene is no different.
Yeah.
And it seems like she's way into him at that point.
And you wouldn't be if half a mile away eating your soup.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, and it's just one of those things. I watched it when I was a kid. I don't think about it.
I never even paid attention.
I didn't pay attention to it, but now having the knowledge about it, it's completely different. There was other changes. Also, I've actually got a list of them here as I was watching the movie recently, and one of the things was Vicky Vale at one point follows Bruce Wayne to find out what he's been up to, because he lies to her and tells her that I've got to be out of town, and then Alfred, the son of a bitch that he is, says, "Oh, we'll be here. We're not going anywhere." And she's like, "Oh, okay, well, bye." And then he gets upstairs, and Bruce Wayne's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, Alfred?
You're awful mouthy.
You're mouthy. You're a mouthy butler. Butlers buttle. They don't mouth off. Keep your mouth shut, sir." Right after that scene, he goes on his little "I'm sad because my parents are dead" routine that I assume he did like every year, once a year.
Maybe.
I don't know. That wasn't clear, but that's what I always assumed. The point of her following him was she was supposed to take pictures of him while she was following him. And in the book, she does that. In the movie, she does not. But it leaves a glaring continuity error.
Oh, yeah?
Because she suddenly has pictures of him.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there at the table staring at pictures of him from that scene and pictures that she never shot. And it's very odd. Yeah. It threw me. It's like, I never thought about that. Yeah, she wasn't taking pictures of him, and it never occurred to me that, of course, that's because they cut it. And also something that they glossed over and they didn't really talk about was the Joker. Where is the Joker at? Like, where is his little hideout? His hideout is in Axis Chemicals.
Okay, yeah.
They never say that in the movie. They never, like, show him going into Axis Chemicals to... they show him doing things at Axis Chemicals, but they never see him hanging out going, wow, we're in Axis Chemicals, or anything like it. You know, that's never clear.
No.
So that was something that, when I read the book, I was like, oh, okay. And
makes a little more sense now.
yeah. And also, there were things in the book, the broadcast that he does, when he does the broadcast, when the newscasters have their meltdown, when she laughs herself to death.
Yeah,
and
that
then
always scared me when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, me too. He broadcasts a commercial, and in the movie he just broadcasts the commercial, and the whole world looks on. In the book, it's all from his point of view. And it's not wrong to have changed that, but I don't know. It's just a little strange. That was one thing that I noticed in the book. I'm trying to read my notes because some of these things I made notes and I don't remember what they're referring to.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You need notes for your notes?
I need notes for my notes. Isn't that a shame?
Yes. It's tragic.
Very much. Also, something else I noticed that the sportscasters, the newscasters. I wrote down sportscasters. Excuse me.
Your notes are wrong.
My notes are wrong. You're wrong, notes. You're wrong. The newscasters in that movie, after the announcement that the Joker has been doing what he's been doing with the chemicals and everything, messing with them, they show them on TV and they look like complete shit.
Yes. They
look awful, and I never put two and two together when I was a kid. I would just but it always stuck out to me. Like, those people look awful.
You're not supposed to have ugly looking people on
TV.
What's going on here?
It just stands out.
Yeah.
Like, those people look terrible. And then when I grew up and I'm watching it again, like rewatching it, I suddenly connected the dots. Like,
they can't wear makeup.
They can't wear makeup because they might die. And that's so funny. That I don't know. It never occurred to me that was like that. It's also weird that the Joker, in the movie, he writes a note every now and then. They show him when he goes into the museum, and they're defacing all of the art.
Right.
And he writes "Joker was here" on a picture. In very pretty looking handwriting. And then Vicky.
Can a spray paint?
No, he has a paintbrush.
Oh, okay.
He takes a paintbrush, I think, with like.
I haven't seen this as many times as he has.
It's true. Probably not.
No, I haven't.
But
I haven't.
Even with purple paint, I believe he writes "Joker was here."
Yeah.
Yes, and it's very pretty handwriting.
He took calligraphy in college.
I know. Well, he apparently forgot it because in the very next scene, actually in the scene prior to that, he sends her a note or a little box, and inside is a gas mask, and the note says, "Put this on right now." And it looks like it's written in crayon. I think even some of the letters are backwards, and it's written really poorly. It's like, did he have a split personality or something? And he has the mind of a child in one half of his brain, and the other half took calligraphy in college? It's very odd.
Split personality. One's had a stroke, and the other one was fine.
Oh. Also, the biggest change in the movie from the original script was the whole scene when Bruce Wayne goes to visit Vicky to apologize for the way he's treated her, and and he wants to tell her that he's Batman, and then the Joker shows up, and and he shoots Bruce, but Bruce is really not dead. He pretended like it. It's a weird scene.
Yes.
It's a very weird scene, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's a reason for that, because it was a rewrite.
Oh.
Because since they cut the horseback riding scene from the beginning of the movie, they also cut another horseback riding scene.
The Horse Council was really pissed at this movie.
Yes, they were. They were very upset. They said, "This is upsetting as wanted." Nay, I don't like it.
Where's my damn sugar cube?
Where's my damn sugar cube?
That's a little nod to Buffalo Rider on Riff Tracks.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Riff Tracks, I think you know what we're talking about.
But anyway,
no horses in the movie at all. And this is not a Gotham City that has animals in it, apparently. Because in that scene, Bruce Wayne shows up with almost like a backpack on his back, and it's like, what? I'm talking about in the book.
Okay.
This is the book that I'm referring to now. I should clarify that.
Book.
In the book, he shows up at Vicky Vale's place with sort of a backpack with the same intentions, to apologize for what he's done and tell her that he's Batman.
Sort of just fess up about
Just sort
stuff.
of, yeah, just say, listen, this is, and I think he really cares about her and he wants to be with her and stuff, but this is, she's going to have to accept who he is and this is what I do.
Yeah.
But it changes at the point when she is looking out the window at some point and she notices that the Joker and his men have pulled up outside. And she tells him this and he... No, wait. She gets a package.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from the Joker and she's worried that it's an explosive.
Okay.
And he suddenly gets into his backpack and gets a device out to scan the package to see if there's something inside, a bomb or something like that. And, of course, there isn't. And then the Joker shows up and sort of plays out the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Except that Bruce Wayne pursues them. First of all, the Joker takes her hostage, leaves the apartment, and Batman pursues them. Or Bruce Wayne pursues them. At one point, Alfred is waiting downstairs for him. And he gets in the back of the car, puts on his bat suit, and takes off. Right?
Can you imagine putting that on in the backseat of a
I know,
car?
it's like, that's a very complicated suit. You hear a lot of rubber
You
sounds going,
need to have some talcum powder or something.
Yeah.
That's not pulling on that easy.
Chafes.
Yeah.
Chafes. He gets home, I've got a rash from trying to put this on in the back seat, Alfred. Oh, man, I wish I could be like Superman and just
Get a damn phone
get a
booth.
damn phone booth. I could stand up and do it. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
great? Just
Lycra breathes better than rubber, too.
run into a Woolworth's right quick and sleep. I need to change clothes. Can I use your changing station if you're a baby? But anyways, he pursues them, and since he doesn't have the Batmobile to pursue them,
It's a horse.
he jumps on a
Oh,
horse.
you're so I was being silly.
No, he jumps on a horse.
Oh, Batman on a horse. That's a good image.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, he did the same thing in the Dark Knight Returns, and then the graphic novel.
Oh, okay.
But
That's right. I remember.
yeah, it's fine in that context for some reason.
Yeah,
It works there. It works there because I believe, if I remember right, in the Dark Knight Returns, there's no power in the city.
Something.
There's a
Something.
reason. There's a
Yeah.
reason he's on a horseback. It's not like I just suddenly want to ride a horse. He has a specific reason for riding a horse. And in the Batman script, the book, he gets on a horse and pursues
Where
them.
was this? The police horse, or where was this random horse in Gotham City, and why?
I don't remember.
I mean, it seems like an odd place. Poof, horse. You know?
I know. I think
It's like, why didn't you steal a car?
I'm
Get
not
on a
sure
bike?
I'm not sure if it was one of those horses that the police have,
Yeah.
or if it was
Just a random stray horse.
not a random stray horse. How you doing? Hey, get off me! Or if it was like a horse-drawn
Suck your
carriage
dick for a
horse.
carrot.
Suck your dick for a carrot. Oh dear.
It's sad when the horses get homeless and
Right.
just turn to desperate acts to get their carrot fix.
Well, you can ride me if you want. It's gonna cost you.
You sound like a horse, John Wayne.
I just imagine horses sound like John Wayne.
The fuck, Pilgrim?
What the fuck, Pilgrim? Get off my back.
Imagine how he'd run.
He'd be limping the whole way. I didn't know horses
Anyway,
could run like that.
We're rambling.
Yes, it's okay. I like to ramble. Makes it more interesting.
On your horse.
Yes.
Uh,
Actually, that's perfect. I just didn't know John Wayne horse could run like that.
yeah. Yes.
So, anyways, he pursues them, and I don't really remember how that turns out. I'm sorry that I don't, but it's been a month or so since I read that. Then, at one point, Bruce repeats the line that Knox has said in the beginning of the movie. It's in the book. It's not in the final movie though. I believe it was in the horseback riding scene after he saves her. And he says she has a wonderful eye, actually, too. He repeats that same line back to her. It's almost like a motif. If I remember right, he said it once before. Knox says it at one point. He says it again, and then he says it again. Almost like a little bit of business.
Yeah.
There's just a little bit of business for him. And it's also weird that, we talk about how the Joker was the killer of Batman's parents. Sorry, I forgot where I was going with that. That's a lot of changes, and a lot of people criticize the movie because Batman has guns on his Batmobile.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why would Batman have guns? Batman does not use guns, and he also has bombs.
Yeah, he killed quite a few people in that movie.
Yeah, guns.
Or should have, at any rate.
They never show anybody.
No, but the things are destroyed.
They insinuate it.
Yeah.
They insinuate that he just blew these guys up. Yeah. Especially when he gets in the Batwing, and he starts firing his guns and stuff, and you see Joker's goons being thrown in every different direction. It's insinuated that he's killing them left and right, but
don't know that.
Never clear. Even though he has a dead-on shot of the Joker and he misses.
Yeah.
That always bothered me. Like how?
Plot device.
Is the Joker like psychokinetic or something, and he forced
like
the bullets?
Carrie?
Is he like Carrie? And he was just like had his arms outstretched like this with a big grin on his face, and then all the bullets and bombs went separate directions.
Yeah, he might have.
Okay, whatever. I didn't know.
As good as explanation as any.
Yeah, I didn't know the Joker was the Keanu Reeves. I didn't know he could do things like that.
Oh, okay.
Matrix.
Yes.
Matrix joke.
I haven't seen that one in a while either. Oh, hello.
I think that's it. I think that's all of the Batman stuff.
And that was Catman that just said hello.
Yes, we have cats. I should have acknowledged that.
And
I
dogs.
didn't. I was looking over my notes. We have cats and dogs. So if you hear them occasionally in the background, I actually have one that's been over there.
Chewing on her foot.
Chewing on her foot. And a blanket and everything. Oh, she's a good dog. She's very quiet. So we're happy to have her in the room with us. So, unlike the others, that can be loud from time to time. I don't have a soundproof room, so we can't do anything like that. So I apologize for the fidelity.
It's not very high.
Yeah, it's not very high. John Cusack would not like that joke.
Oh, well.
He's a very serious actor nowadays.
How can he be after that hideous?
He tried
2012.
After he did
After
he did 2012, he suddenly started doing.
Catman,
Shh, quiet. He suddenly started doing these movies where he was. Like,
he did that Edgar Allan Poe movie, and that just seemed to go poof.
It was gone. Yeah.
Nevermore.
Nevermore. Ah. She gets a high five for that one. That was a good joke.
I'll be here all week.
Yes. I hope so. Because I paid for the whole week, damn it.
Oh. Like you could afford me.
I couldn't. I can't now. But it was funny. He was trying to be like he was trying to do things like that, but he was also trying to be a serious actor, and all these serious actors. I think he was in a movie called War Incorporated.
Oh, I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah, a movie that nobody cared about. He was trying to do stuff like that. He was trying to distance himself from his Better Off Dead days, and what was the other movie he did in the 80s that was big?
16 Candles. He was in that one, a small part.
That's not what I'm thinking of, though. What's the one with the boombox?
Oh, Say Anything.
Say Anything. That's mainly what people think of when they think of John Cusack. They think of Say Anything. Some of them can't remember what it's called, but, you know.
Yeah, I was always a fan of Better Off Dead.
Yeah, I like Better Off Dead. What else is there to talk about related to Batman? As far as the other movies, I guess we can talk about that. I find it hard to rewatch the other movies, especially Batman Returns and Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin is unwatchable. Let's just put that on the table. That is an unwatchable movie. It is so bad. It's so terrible.
Did you see it as a child?
Yeah. I saw Batman and Batman Returns, and for some reason, Mom never took me to see Batman Forever. I don't know why to this day. I miss that one. Because I'd seen all the Batman movies, and still to this day, I've seen all the Batman movies except for that one in the theater.
Oh, I've seen all of them except the Christopher Nolan movies in the theater. I saw the last one with you.
Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah.
You didn't see Dark Knight or Batman Begins in the theater?
No.
I did.
But I saw all the other Batman movies in the theater. Because we went to the movies a lot when I was a kid.
I saw Batman Begins in the theater. I saw it a double feature with that and Land of the Dead because they were both out at the same time. Guess which one was better? But no, Batman Returns has got some of the kookiest Tim Burton-esque stuff that's on par with like Alice in Wonderland and stuff like that, except in a completely different direction. Like it's really dark and quirky, and Alice in Wonderland stuff is really bright and quirky.
Yeah, I can see the parallel.
Yeah, so that just seems to be his style, and I think Edward Scissorhands sort of formed that style.
Yeah.
For everybody, and so when he did Batman Returns, he did the same thing with that, and nobody liked that. That movie was always off to me when I was a kid. I watched it. I was very excited. Oh boy, another Batman movie. It's going to have the Penguin and all that stuff in it. And I liked it at the time, but I was like, this movie's off. Something off about it. And I think it's because it's tone deaf. It wants to have silly moments, but it also wants to be very dark, and it also wants to be very light, and it can't contain all of that. Right. And I have a feeling that's another movie that was another Batman movie that was rewritten.
Was there a novelization of that one?
I haven't read it if there was. There probably was, though, I'm assuming. Because that movie had a hell of a lot of merchandise.
Yes.
Especially with McDonald's and places like that.
Being overseas, I didn't see anything like that. We didn't have commercials or anything. Just see a lot of the goings on. So I guess in a way that made everything seem smaller and less of a big deal than it was over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Taco Bell also. I had forgotten about it, and I saw the other day. I saw the Taco Bell cups. They had like collectible cups, and they had different lids for them that glowed in the dark and stuff like that.
Fun deadly chemical was in that.
Right. Exactly. Like, what am I drinking here? I didn't care at the time.
No, you're a kid.
At the kid, I didn't care. I think I had one or two of the cups. We didn't go to Taco Bell that often because where I lived, there wasn't one immediately within the vicinity. You had to go town or two over it to go to Taco Bell. So, but I remember. Now that I think about it, I don't know if McDonald's. Yes. Apparently, Catman wants to
He wants to throw in his 2 cents. And
I've seen Batman. I have something to say about it now.
I am the Catman.
You're a communist. All you say is "Mao." That's a bad joke.
It's a very bad joke. Anyway, for the record, he's a liberal Democrat.
He's very liberal Democrat. It's awesome. He loves Bernie Sanders. He feels the burn. Anyways, so does Ronda Rousey.
I saw that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. I mean,
I know.
I feel it too.
It's funny. It's just how everything just seems to have clouded around that one person, Ronda Rousey.
I know. I had never heard of her until the
Never heard of her before.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
She interrupted our podcast. Go away!
Well, maybe it's time to quit. Maybe Catman is telling
I want to keep talking.
That's enough. Oh.
I'm sure there's other things to talk about, right? You're not bored, are you? You're not bored listening to us ramble on about things?
Things in all various forms and sorts?
There was one thing in Batman Returns, though, I wanted to bring up.
What's that?
There was, besides that movie being weird and everything else that's wrong with that movie. Can you do something about him right quick, please? Before I continue.
You're not going to hit him.
No, I'm not going to continue. I'm not going to hit him, but I want to continue.
What is it, majority? I don't know if this will work or not. What was your thought?
Okay, but what I was wanting to say about Batman Returns, there was a shot in the movie that always bothered me. First time I watched it, still bothers me today. Noticed it right away. It's the shot in the latter half of the movie when Bruce Wayne in the Batman suit reveals himself to. Well, it's actually not a reveal. The only person in the room that Batman reveals himself to be Bruce Wayne to is Christopher Walken, who's off to the sidelines watching all of this transpire. He goes up to Catwoman, and he, in one shot, he looks at her, and it cuts back to her, and they cut back to him, and the black that's in his eye slits usually is gone. Because
he had a little cold cream.
He just rips the friggin' mask off of his head, and that bugged me for years. He didn't want to have
raccoon eyes. I mean, that's not a good look.
No, it's not a good look at all. But my point is, why did they use that shot?
Yeah.
Why didn't they cut to her reaction of him tearing his mask off instead of that shot?
Yeah.
That's such a glaring mistake that... and it's not like it's off to the side. Like, you see a lot of movie mistakes, and they're off to the side, maybe in the background or something. This is dead center.
Yeah.
This is
Usually they're more subtle than
this
that.
is the focus of the audience's attention. Everyone's going to notice. Yeah, that always bothered me. But as far as the other sequels, Batman Forever is actually a little more watchable than Batman Returns. I'm sorry to say. It's got Val Kilmer, and I actually like Val Kilmer.
I do too.
I don't know if he makes the best Bruce Wayne or Batman, but he does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin is unwatchable. And of course, the Nolan movies are terrific.
Yeah.
Especially the second one, Dark Knight.
Yes.
I think everyone's in agreement that that's probably the best Batman movie to be made. I don't know. I'm still fond of the 89 Batman. I'm still fond of the 66 Batman. I love those movies. And I guess that's all we have to say on the subject of Batman today. I don't know. I can't think of anything else to talk about. I think this is a good stopping point. Usually when you reach a point of, what else do we say?
Right.
That's a good place to stop.
Might as well.
I know I've done most of the talking, and
yes.
that's okay.
That's
I apologize.
All right.
It's all right. But for now, we're going to sign off, and we'll do this again sometime. And we hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. I'm Tim.
I'm Teresa.
See you next time.
Bye.